You may remember this man, Muhammad Fahir Amaz. I swear, pronouns can take a back seat. It feels like every Muslim man in the entire world is named Muhammad. It's got to be a nightmare. Like, when you and your 10 brothers are all named Muhammad, and so is your father, and all your uncles, and your grandfather. I mean, how do you deal with it? Anyway, him and his brother assaulted some police officers in a Manchester airport last year, or maybe a year ago. Time blends. There's so many of these cases. But people got really mad about this because the police officer tried to stomp on his head after he got knocked to the ground. Mind you, he was only knocked to the ground after knocking 2 women to the ground, 2 female police officers. And other people were angry at the police for how violent they were when they first approached them. But they were violent because, as you can see there, they were arresting them because of a report of a man fitting this description who had headbutted a Kuwaiti holidaymaker at a cafe in the terminal of the airport that they were still in. So he had just assaulted someone, like headbutt some random person, and the police showed up to arrest them. And then this happened. Yeah, see that they're very, very violent right off the start, and then big dude gets in on it here. I think it's his brother. He gets in, just trying to separate them, and then the officer takes a punch. He just pushes him away. Then he starts pummeling the police officer. And this guy is going to go ham on the women over here. She's down instantly. That's Lydia. And there's the other one, gets taken out. Now, the big dude, he's actually kind of weird. He sees his, I think this is his mother. He sees his mother fall over. She's trying to stop him from pummeling the police officer, which is totally sane and normal thing to do in an airport of a foreign country, which happens to be a superpower country, or, you know, it used to at least. And she tries to stop him, I guess, and she falls over. I don't know if it's his mother or his wife or whoever, but she falls over, and it's like it triggers something in the big dude's head, and he immediately gives up, and then he continues to give up after a taser shoved in his face. Right there, and he's like, oh shit, and then he's like, oh whoops, oops, oh, I give up, might give up. My give up just turns into full Jar Jar. Blue guy, however, he keeps going. He's attacked all of them now, and then he gets tased. And then he's done. And then he gets kicked in the head. And people are very, very angry about that. And then some people coming up with their phones to record it. But see, the big dude is still on the right. He's totally given up at this point, which is very odd for him. I don't know. Like, the way I'm looking at this, from their point of view, is it's like some sort of family brawl. Like, that's super weird. Like, these people are a symbol of authority in the country. Like, you're supposed to just concede to them, whatever they're saying. Like, even if they're wrong, they're a symbol of the authority. You're in their country. You have no choice but to give in, basically. Like, that's your option, really. Unless, of course, you can beat them in a fight, which the blue guy nearly did all on his own. If not for the taser, he probably would have gotten away with it, because these 2 women were utterly worthless in the fight. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Lydia Ward was the first woman who went down there. I'm not going to show the famous pictures of her with blood streaking out of her nose. Her nose is broken, blood streaming out of it. She's got the most horrific face on. I mean, it's just embarrassing. But what's more embarrassing is her response after this interview with her.
I just don't understand why. There was no need to punch me in the face. I mean,
yes, there was. He was resisting arrest. You were going to arrest him and take him to jail, and then he would have ended up. I mean, I don't know. It's the UK, so maybe he wouldn't have been deported. You might have given him like a foot massage, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you give him like an 8-year-old wife or something. I don't know. I don't know how the UK does things these days, but you were, at the very least, you were going to arrest him, right? Isn't that what was going on?
That felt like it was a targeted assault on myself.
What the fuck are you talking about? It felt like it was how are you making yourself the victim of this? You're the police officer. You went to arrest him because he was attacking other people. He was committing targeted assaults on other people. You were arresting him. That's your job. And now you're going to claim that it was a targeted attack on you? Well, was it sexism? Is that what the problem was? Was it racism?
What's the thing that really sticks in your mind about what happened on that day?
Just the pain of it. It really, really was painful.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't think that you should need to have your nose broken in order to become a cop. But if you're so shocked, like if you're supposed to be like basically a home front soldier is more or less what the police are. It's not like they're the National Guard or something, but you're supposed to be dealing with stuff like this. Like, you're supposed to expect it. And I really don't think the pain is the thing that should be most concerning to you. At that point, you should have adrenaline running through your body, right? Like, you're about to arrest some people. You should be, like, amped up. Like, I'm not saying it's going to completely numb the pain, but she's crying her eyes out with, blood streaming out of her nose. But still, it was embarrassing.
That's the main thing that sticks in my mind, and the shock that it had happened.
The shock, not the shock of pain, but the shock that it had happened. The shock that something had happened to her as a police officer in the line of duty.
And how frightened I was. You never
And how frightened I was.
prepared for that.
But you should be prepared for that. You're a police officer. It's literally your job to be prepared for that. What do you mean you're never prepared? I'm never prepared to do my job. Yeah, I'm never prepared to do my job, and I'm frightened, and I'm scared, and I don't like pain. Well, maybe you should get a different job. In fact, this woman is apparently a mother of one, so maybe you really should get another job. You're really bad at being a police officer.
Even though I know I'm a police officer, and I have been in situations where I felt frightened before, never as much as in that moment.
It's like listening to a Doctor Who side character, one of the ones that you really don't like.
Mohammed Fahir Amaz was convicted of the assault of PC Ward. Initially, only a part of the video of that incident emerged, showing what the police did, but not what led up to it.
Yes, and I would like to briefly cut over to Reddit. Now, this is from a year ago, but I do remember actually the day it was posted. Someone said, for those who immediately defended the men arrested by the police at Manchester Airport last year, how do you feel about the footage released yesterday? Yesterday being a year ago. So this is the footage, and Reddit, of course, they immediately attacked the police and said it was racist and so on and so forth. Now, in this post, in this thread, a lot of people, and this is r/AskBrits, which... I don't really go to that very often, but it's not one of the normal hyper left-wing front page subs anyway. So here you see there's a lot of people who are sticking up for the police and sticking up for the UK and sticking up for white people in general and making some comments that maybe I shouldn't repeat on YouTube at least. Though there are some weird people who are still defending this and saying, like, well, the police shouldn't stomp on people's heads. Like, why do people think the police shouldn't stamp on people's heads when they're restrained means the men were in the right? I don't think he was really restrained. He was being tased, actually, I think. But, considering that the guys attacked all three of the police, knocked two of them to the ground, actually technically knocked all three of them to the ground, I think, like, in any other nation, except maybe like, I don't know, like Japan or America, that maybe some of the ones where you have people who are like super up your ass with social media and stuff, these guys would have just been gunned down. Like, I don't know, I feel like if this happened in like Guatemala or something, that they would have just been shot, and that would have been that, right? There's someone getting an award even for saying something bad about certain demographics of people on Reddit, and they're not talking about white people, if you can believe it. This comment I found interesting. I'm not exactly sure if it's true or not, because they're talking about some sort of Pakistani protest or something that happened in Rochdale, which is where this occurred, where these two men were from anyway. They were from Rochdale. I'm not really sure if they were from Rochdale or Pakistan, but the police apparently hid in the station during this protest, these riots or whatever they're calling. I mean, they're calling them riots. I don't know what they actually were. The police allegedly hid in their station, and they were... The CCTV footage of the whole fight wasn't even supposed to go out to the public, but it was because one of the people who worked at the airport leaked it, and then the government was all over that person for leaking the footage. So I'm not sure what truth there is to this comment, but it is interesting. They go on to kind of like bash on first cousin marriage and saying that it's causing a lot of birth defects and possibly neurological and behavioral disorders and such, which is reasonable to wonder. I mean, why are they so violent? I think it's probably more of like the culture of the religion rather than just assuming some sort of incestuous reason, but who knows, maybe that too. Anyway, going back to Lydia here. It
was really frustrating, and there was an element of me being angry about that, because I just wanted to scream, no, that's not the full story, and people obviously didn't know.
So there she's talking about when they only not leaked, but when they only intentionally showed the footage of the guy stomping on the other dude's head and stuff like that. She didn't like that they were being portrayed as racist, basically, is what she's saying, which is fair enough. Who would?
And the frustration is that nobody else was there apart from the people in that video, so no one else knows what happens, but yet people are commenting on it and giving their opinions.
But that online commentary continued even when the full video of what happened to PC Ward was played in court.
I mean, look at her. She's just having a panic attack. I think I'll leave that uncensored because it's just, people need to see it. She's having a complete breakdown because she got punched in the face. Like, this is how a normal woman would normally act when she gets punched in the face, but she's a police officer, right?
It just felt like people were, she's useless, she should have done more. Nothing prepares you for being punched in the face. Also, with him holding a mobile phone, so being punched in the face with an object.
Yeah, I don't think that really matters here. I mean, when you consider that you're like 5'2".
Shock and the fear that you have after that happening to you. And I felt very upset at the time because I felt like that the videos of me had made those comments come to the forefront of should women be police officers, which...
Yes, it would come to the forefront of that. But it was mostly about your panic attack and your screaming afterwards. Like, if you had just gotten knocked down and got back up, which is what happened to the male police officer. I don't think he got punched in the nose, but he did get punched repeatedly. I mean, I think like the first thing that happened was he got punched in the back of the head. So if you had just gotten back up and continued to do it and you weren't sitting there bawling your eyes out, people might have said, well, damn, she's a double hard bitch. But instead, you screamed like a princess.
It was upsetting to me. And it is important that people know that policing isn't about being a ninja warrior and being able to, take people down.
It literally is about that, though. Like, anyone can write a citation to someone who's being nonviolent. The police officers are there to keep the peace. Someone needs to break the peace in order for peace to be kept. Otherwise, you wouldn't need police at all, right? So, by the very description of a peacekeeper, you need to be able to keep the peace. And if you can't do that, then you're a DEI hire. And that's really the problem here.
It's about showing empathy towards people in some of the worst days of their life.
No, it's not. God, she's applying female logic to it. I mean, this is just pure feminism. It's about showing empathy towards people in the worst days of your life. It's about you presuming someone is in the most needing point of their whole life and you're the only one who can help them. You're the only one who can save them. What a messiah complex. That is not what being a police officer is about. It's great if you can help someone. Sometimes someone stuck on the side of the road or whatever, you can help them do that. Whatever, like that happens too. Police do a lot of stuff like that. Police do tons and tons of weird things that they really shouldn't even be forced to do, like driving out to help people with license plates, crap like that. But if you're going to be the kind of person who arrests someone, you do need to be a ninja warrior. Maybe not so much a ninja, but some sort of warrior.
There's a place for women in policing in all manner of different roles, and there is some women that, are even better in them sort of situations than some men.
Accusation.
Well, yeah, I agree with her. But maybe physically arresting 6-foot-something tall men isn't one of those roles. Is it not fair to say that men might be better than women in some of the roles? Why do you only have to say, well, but women might be even better than the men? You just don't know, do you? Well, why can't we say the opposite? Why can't we say the opposite? Men are better at arresting people. It's as simple as that. Now, she mules a little bit there about the racist accusations, but considering that the full footage is now visible, I think we can put the racist accusations to bed. So, skipping ahead just a little bit.
I think in some ways, yes, it probably will always have an impact on me, that I'll always, when I go to attend an incident as a police officer, have it in the back of my mind, okay, things can escalate, things can get out of control very fast.
And you didn't believe that beforehand. That's the problem, Lydia. You were a police officer going to arrest people, and you never thought that anything bad might happen. But I don't understand how you can be a peacekeeper and think that nothing bad might happen. Your job is to go deal with bad things, or at least You know, on paper, in Lydia's mind, it appeared, I mean, she said it outright. She said it's using your empathy to help people in the worst moments of their life, which is totally crazy.
You know, you're never actually safe.
But now, as a new mum, she has returned to the job, still with questions.
I want to understand.
You mean, like, why return to the job? Why go out and have your face broken again when you're a mother?
And I would have liked to have understood why he did what he did.
You don't need to understand why he did what he did. All you need to do is punish him. And guess what? He got, I think, 3.5 years. People get more time for doing less. 3.5 years for assaulting 3 police officers. And breaking her nose, just to be clear. I mean, that's more than a simple assault, really. I mean, God, 3.5 years. And this lady just wants to know why he did what he did. Who cares why he did it? Just punish him. Really punish him. And I know that she doesn't have any control over how much time he gets, but 3.5 years is a joke.
And I want him to understand how him doing that impacted my life. Maybe for him to take some responsibility for what he's done.
And that's the problem with women. It's the problem with feminism. She just wants to use feelings against someone who is willing to immediately attack them, physically attack them without a second thought, without a first thought for that matter. And then I want him to know how he's impacted my life. He doesn't care how he's impacted your life. He would have probably stomped your head into jelly if he was given the option. Oh God, it's just so frustrating listening to people like this talk, because going back to the article of her by the Yahoo article, she was quoted as saying, "Take a good look at me." And the Yahoo article states her height and her weight, 5'2", 8 stones, adding, "I want you to know I am not weak. No matter how this has affected me or impacted on my life, I will not allow you to see me as weak." Literally everyone sees her as weak. She then said, "You used me as a punching bag, but I will get back up and I will show you how strong I am." Yeah, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. This woman is a perfect example of why women really shouldn't be at the forefront of arresting people. I have no problem with female police officers. There's plenty of roles they can be in. As she said, there's plenty of roles that they could be in which are probably better than men. I mean, I don't know what those are exactly. At the very least, arresting females and transgenders, because they always ask for a female police officer. And in the modern era of making everyone happy, I guess you need to have a female police officer. Otherwise, you'll be canceled on social media for having a man arrest someone. But I don't know. It's reminding me of the Montreal, Canada shooting. I mean, that was very recent. But Seth Hatfield, he was shooting at people, and then that female police officer, she flipped her wig and ghosted that innocent Jewish man who happened to be next to her, and people were using that as an example of, like, this is why female police shouldn't be police officers. Like, women have worse instincts and they panic more and more. That's not the case, really. I mean, it maybe on some level they have worse instincts or something. I don't know. I don't know enough about the genetics of it to argue that, but she was clearly having a moral breakdown, that woman. Like, she had a morality break and she panicked and she was fleeing the battlefield. That's what happened in Montreal, Canada. And with this woman, you can see her, like, screaming and crying after she had her nose broken, Lydia. And again, it's like these people were not prepared. It's not about being a woman, really. It's just that they were not prepared in any way. And you could make the argument, and I think it's a reasonable argument to make, that men would be more prepared through things they've seen through osmosis. I mean, stuff they might enjoy, like video games, movies, whatever, that they might be more prepared for something like this on like a mental level. But you can mentally prepare women for these things. It's just that they're not doing it. They're not preparing them for it. And so I want to finish on this. We're here in this video by Remigration. The other one was by Suffragent. So in this video, there is a bunch of people. I can't tell all of their skin colors due to the lighting and such of it, but it says there's 3 black people attacking a drunk white kid in Birmingham, and then the female police officer shows up to save the white kid, right? That's what you're thinking? Look at that. He gets clotheslined by this guy, just randomly clotheslines him, and then when he's on the ground, this prick tries to punch him in the back of the head. And instantaneously, while still getting up, a female police officer pins him to the wall. There's no way she didn't see that happen. There's no way she could have thought he was the one who's guilty. I'm like, are we being gaslit here with this or something? Like, what's going on? And so the guy is disoriented, and they say he's drunk. I don't know if he's drunk or not, but he's disoriented, and he's being pinned against the wall by a police officer who's illegally arresting him, and he takes a swing at her, but he immediately realizes that she's a police officer, and he stops. And then she just gets all pissy. Right, and there's more to it if you scroll through the comments where they just keep shouting at him, "You're going to walk to the car, you effing dick, get in the effing car," stuff. Like, it's just, these people, like, that has nothing to do with being a woman, right? Like, that has nothing to do with being a woman. That just has everything to do with being a bad police officer, and really a bad person. She's clearly a bad person, because there's no way she could have been there. I mean, there's no jump cut to this. Like, the police cruiser's there, like, right here the whole time. And she instantly jumps in to arrest a guy for being assaulted and lets the criminals walk free. And he's thinking he's getting pinned to the wall by people who are probably going to try and murder him. And that's what the UK has to deal with. Man, like, I know there's corrupt cops everywhere, but this is really rough to watch. Like, my point in showing this, though, is that it's not actually about being a woman. Just like I don't think that what happened in the Montreal, Canada shooting had anything to do with being a woman. This is just weak-mindedness, whereas the thing with Lydia, I mean, that was weak-mindedness. Even her response afterwards was weak, talking about how she's going to show everyone how strong she is, and how being a police officer is about having empathy and such, and you don't need to be a ninja warrior. But Lydia was a great example of why female police officers actually do need to have strength. And I don't like, really, like, the conversation regarding all of this. It's constantly muddied by people trying to talk about, like, the reaction speeds and the instincts and such, which, yeah, fair enough that you can make such comments, but at the same time, the police have tasers and guns and pepper spray and stuff like that as well. So I think that maybe, just maybe, like, maybe we shouldn't have so many women on the front lines arresting people, especially when they're 5'2" and weigh 8 stones. But maybe they could be a little bit more hands-off, you know, like backline support units. Like, you've got your taser there ready to go. Like, let's say you're willing to fight a male police officer. Are you willing to fight him if standing 15 feet away from you is a female police officer holding a taser or a 9mm gun? I wouldn't be, right? So I think that maybe would be a little bit better. Of course, then we'd probably need more cops. I don't know. I mean, they sent 3 just to arrest that one dude, and all 3 of them got knocked flat on their ass. So I just... it just needs to be said. Like, that's all I want to say. It just needs to be said that women, 5 feet tall women, cannot arrest grown-ass men. It can't happen. And you can't sit there and tell me some BS about how police officers are supposed to be empathetic and they don't need strength or whatever. That's a DEI hire. Lydia's a DEI hire. That's really a fault, not just of Lydia, but of everyone who hired her, of the government that allowed it, of everyone that pushed feminism, of everyone that's pushing this liberal agenda, the DEI and all of that. And it's irritating. So I wanted to complain about it. Anyway, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed, please do the YouTube things.